What it do, what it do, what it do, young cons? It's your man, Bun Squeaks, holding it down for the S-I-S till I-D-I-E. And today, cuz, we talking about the master of the mixtapes, cuz. We talking about Lil Louisiana himself, cuz. We talking about the best mixtapes ever made, cuz. Some of them just alright, but we gonna be celebrating the best ones, cuz. We gonna break it down. All 20 mixtapes, cuz. Ride with us. Young Moolah, baby. Cuz. No wonder he can never get this stupid thing to work. What up, players? Welcome to another edition of the Soul and Stereo Sessions, and today we got something special for y'all. So you know, if you come here, we often do a lot of album rankings and just rankings in general. Well, a lot of times the players hit me and say, why haven't you ever done a tier list? And I'm like, that's a great idea. That's a good way to shake things up. So today we're going to do our first ever tier list here on the Soul and Stereo Sessions. I know some of y'all are like, what the heck is a tier list? Well, I'm here to show you. D Roth, give our good friends a visual aid. Okay, so you see how this is set up. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, S all the way down to that bottom tier. And you see all of our beautiful ranking album covers in the bottom. So all of those beautiful mixtapes, what we will do is discuss every single one. And as we discuss them, our boy D Roth is going to move them to the proper tier to where they fall. Every one of Lil Wayne's mixtapes, well, almost every one of Lil Wayne's mixtapes, we'll get to that a little bit later, but each mixtape will fall into a specific tier. S tier, of course, is the top of the top, the best of the best. A, you know, it's good. B, all the way down to player please, unless this your first day here, you know what that means. You don't want to be in the player please category. So let's talk about how this works, because I want to make sure the rules are clear so y'all can stay out of my mentions and leave me alone. First of all, it's very important to realize that this is not the same as a usual ranking from me. In fact, I just don't want y'all to come at me saying this. Aha! Oh, I remember when you rated that mixtape 3 stars. Therefore, it should be in the C tier, not the B tier. I, as what the children say, have caught you slipping. Huh, what a farce this ranking is. Go to bed and brush your teeth. So, no, album rankings and tiers, in my view, are not the same thing. S tier is not 5 stars. A is not 4. You can't directly correlate it to that. Think of this as more of a more loose ranking. S to me is must hear. A is like very good. You should go out of your way to check it out and go from there. It's not necessarily 5 stars. So I don't want anybody coming back being like, well, actually, in 2017, you ranked something at 3.5 stars, so it should be in it. No, it's not like that. We're just talking about my enjoyment. Second of all, I want to make this clear. Nah, son, this list ain't legit. This list ain't legit. Where's the leak? Where the Squad Up mixtapes? If you a real fan, you would have known to have those on the list. This ain't no real list. I can tell this list fake. I already caught you. You already showing you what you are all about. You don't know Weezy. You don't know Weezy F. You don't know. Yet another reason why education is important. This list is just a list of Lil Wayne's mixtapes. We're not counting EPs. We're not counting compilations. We're not counting those unofficial mixtapes, of which there are 10 billion of them. This list is already long as it is. We got 21 of these things to get through. So I don't want to go through every single one. Unfortunately, that does mean we'll be leaving out some good stuff like The Leak, which is great, and a few others. So if you don't see it here, I'm sorry, I ain't got time. And yes, all those squad up mixtapes, I'm not doing those either because they're like an extra 10 of those, and 90% of y'all never heard of those until right now anyway. Don't worry about it. You ain't missing nothing. We're not going to put that on the list. So it's all good. That is what we're going to do. We're looking at Lil Wayne's history as a mixtape rapper. And that's a very important history to have because Lil Wayne may be celebrated today for his legendary status. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. I have my ups and downs with Wayne, but I will not deny that at his best was when we got Mixtape Weezy, and Mixtape Weezy was unlike anything else we had ever seen. He was a guy who's wobbledy over with Juvenile, going to step his game up so lyrically and so creatively that he really did become the biggest rapper in the world. I never bought the best rapper alive, but he for sure was the biggest rapper alive. And even for an old doubting hater like myself, his mixtape run is so legendary, it made me a believer. So today we're going to go back, we're going to do these chronologically, and we're going to look at Lil Wayne's mixtape history, and we're going to do a tier version instead of the usual ranking, just for a little bit of fun. But before we do that, let's handle some business. Y'all know what it is. Take a second, players, and just hit that like button on this video. Do your boy a favor. Means a lot to me and the channel. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's all good. Real quick, takes a second. And then once it's done, make sure you share this video to the Lil Wayne fans in your life, because I guarantee you they're going to have some thoughts on this tier list. I'm sure you will too, but y'all will wild out in the comments as I expect. So, let's stop the talking. Let's get to action, because this is going to take forever. Weezy F, baby, and the F is for far too many mixtapes. Let's get to every Lil Wayne mixtape, almost, on a tier list. Alright, the first one we're going to start with is The Drought. It's weird to just say The Drought and not The Drought 1. But this was the prelude to Carter 1, and kind of an introduction to that. And for that, it doesn't have like the big hefty legacy of some of these other mixtapes that we'll get to. It's cool. It's a mixtape. It's just to get buzz for the next project. Kind of what most mixtapes are. I think it's alright. It's not something I would go back and revisit. Let's put that one in the C tier. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's fine. Let's go with that. Then we got Drought 2. This one is better than the first Drought, in my opinion, but also not great. Because there's really nothing that stands out. Like, there's nothing that I would go back to go and check and revisit and see what's there. But it is a step up from the previous one, so let's step this one up. I'm going to say B tier for this one. That sounds about right. I bet y'all forgot about this one. This is the Prefix. This is one that you hear a little bit about the Suffix. We'll get to that later on, but the Prefix was before that one. And man, this one is dope. I'm not sure if I've heard this one in full until I went back to listen to all these mixtapes for this video. But man, it's good. It's basically Lil Wayne over a bunch of Jay-Z beats. He might as well have called it, he should have called this the Carter, because he just did a great job wrecking these classic J beats. I thought this was dope. We're going to put that one in A tier. That is fire to me. Alright, now we got Young Money, the mixtape. It's another one you don't hear much about, one of those early mixtapes. But, I don't know, it's fine. You've got a lot of Young Money. This is early Young Money, of course, not the Young Money we would come to know and tolerate later on in the year. This is still 2005, so this is pre-Weirdo Collection Young Money. But I thought this was another solid one. We got to hear Wayne over Cameron's Down and Out, one of my favorite kind of remixes that Wayne does. This is another good one. We're going to throw that one in the B category too. B tier, that sucker. Alright, now we're at the suffix. The suffix, of course, this is the follow-up to the prefix. This one's good. Another good one, kind of forgettable, but I like it because going back and listening to it, you get kind of, to me, the best of Wayne. You get the crazy bar fest. You get a little bit of introspection. You get some goofiness, but not overt goofiness that we'll get later on. It was cool. Good must. I don't think it's a must here, but it's good. Let's make it B tier. I'm being very generous with these mixtapes. I'm sure y'all thought I'd tear it up, but oh, just wait. We're going to get to the whack ones. And speaking of ones that you have to hear, here's one of the ones that everyone knows. It's the Dedication. Man, this man was just knocking out mixtapes in 2005. This is the original one of the Gangsta Grill series that, of course, would become one of his most defining releases. And for one to just to start it off, this is hard to beat, is number one. It elevated him not just as kind of a novelty Southern rapper, let's be honest, that's kind of what he saw what it was, but this was really when he got catapulted to another level that started to get him that fame that he was starting to enjoy. He didn't get to the top yet, but he was on the way, and this one put him on the map. And this one still holds up today. We're going to move that all the way. Throw that in the A tier, Roth. Throw it in the A tier. That one deserves it. All right. Dedication 2. I know y'all were waiting for this one. Easily one of the most recognized mixtapes of all time. Man, you know what I miss? I miss hearing Canon on the track. I miss Canon. Y'all always got these drops. That was one of my favorites. This is just so much fun, and one of the ones that made me a believer in this Lil Wayne phenomenon. This dude, I totally forgot that he went crazy on Lil Brother's I Love It, one of my favorite songs ever. That Loving It joint, one of the best beats Knife ever put together, and he did a great job on that. Wayne was just getting to the peak of his Infinity Gauntlet powers on this one. Incredible, good stuff. All good and a cementing part of his legacy. So, I don't know. Put in the C tier. I'm playing with y'all. S tier, homie. Yep, S tier for that one. Gotta put it up there. One of the best mixtapes ever. And next is the Drought 3. This one, in my opinion, is even better than Dedication 2. I told you this dude was on an incredible run around 05, 06, 07. This dude was just on another level. So good. Some of Wayne's best kind of remix songs ever. You got Throw Some D's, Reppin' Time, Black Republican. All of these are just the Upgrade You song. I did a list maybe a year or so ago over on soulandstereo.com of the best albums of the 2000s. And I threw in some mixtapes too, just for a little razzle dazzle, just to shake things up for y'all. And this, if it wasn't the best mixtape of all time, it was definitely one of the best for the 2000s. So yes, the legacy holds up. S tier, that sucker deserves it. Alright, now we're at Dedication 3. And this is just a mixtape. I don't know why that always reminds me when I hear Dedication 3. And this is just a mixtape. This was coming off of the Carter 3. And of course, if you're watching this video, you know the Carter 3 is one of the most recognized, celebrated, and influential albums of hip-hop history. Definitely of this current generation of hip-hop. I would say history. That said, though, I don't think I love Carter 3 as much as everyone else, and this mixtape shows that. I feel like Wayne was just getting a little too, how can I say it? I would say losing focus a little bit. His rhymes weren't as focused. We're getting in a little bit of the goofy, laughing at every one of his bars, and the metaphors were getting kind of silly. And also, this mixtape is the introduction of Young Money as we know it today, or at least the peak of Young Money's era. The Drakes, the Nickies, they all show up on this one, and I don't know. I feel like Wayne isn't bringing enough to the table on this one. Certainly not like the ones we were doing before. Roth, throw that one in the C tier, dog. It's alright. I know y'all gonna be mad because for some this is like peak Wayne. It might be peak mainstream Wayne, but I feel like he was all over the place on this one. Want to know Wayne he went all over the place on? No Ceilings, another of the most celebrated mixtapes of all time. And I understand why. This was recorded right before he went to prison. And I feel like this is the last hurrah for peak Wayne. I like the Carter 4 more than most, even more than most Lil Wayne fans. But I would say that this was the last thing that gave us of like the classic Wayne era. He went out hard. Swag Surfing might be the best song Lil Wayne has ever done. I know that's crazy to say. I think Swag Surfing is one of the best things he's ever done. S tier. Hook that thing up. S tier. Okay, now Sorry for the Wait. I know this is another beloved one because this was kind of Wayne was at his peak notoriety around this time. And it's alright. I went back and re-listened to it because I played this a lot in 2011. It's alright. There's really much that I don't revisit today other than the Gucci Gucci song. And let me tell you something, players. I know they tried to cover it up with the edit, but I will bet my house that that man said that Creation was okay to use an N-word. That's why you can't let anybody at the cook. Y'all let too many people in the cookout. That little white girl don't need to be saying that word. Stop letting everybody in the cookout. They tried to cover it up with the edit, but I heard what I heard, Wayne. I'm still mad about that. Regardless, I'll keep my biases aside. And as far as a mixtape, it's okay. Like, Sure Thing, that was dope. It's got a couple alright songs on it, but I don't think it's as strong as a lot of people remember it being. So I'll be generous. Throw that in the B tier. It's alright, but I don't think it's as good as a lot of people hype it up to be. Okay, Dedication 4. Now this is another era where I think even fans were starting to see the bloom was starting to fall off the rose a little bit. For me, definitely. However, I like this one okay. This is another one I played to death. That Green Ranger with J. Cole. It's funny because he's like, oh, I don't even like this beat. Lil Wayne's like, I don't like this beat. I feel like you said that because J. Cole left you in the dust on this beat, player. That's why you said that. You trying to save face. But he had So Sophisticated and some other dope songs on this. I thought this one was pretty okay. It's not as celebrated as Sorry for the Wait and a few others, but it's just as good. I think it's alright. Put it in B. Put it in B. It's solid. And now Dedication 5. Good lord, it's a lot of dedications. I forgot about these dedications. The best thing about this is probably the Don't Kill My Vibe joint. And then it had a couple other ones like Cream was good, but it felt like missed opportunities to me. When I heard that he was doing Feds Watching, a song that I love, I was like, oh, Feds Watching, that's perfect for Wayne to do his crazy stuff. And he was just in cruise control. This one really felt like it was phoned in to me. So, it had its moments, but not something I'm ever going to revisit. C tier, throw it in the C. I don't love it. And speaking of stuff I don't love, Sorry for the Wait 2. Look, this was the lead up to Carter 5, and he needed to be apologizing sorry for Carter 5, but that's a whole other conversation. The Stan's still mad at me for destroying that album in my review years ago. I know the anticipation was high for that album, but the output did not match it. It really underdelivered. As did this mixtape. I don't even remember anything solid to even tell y'all about. I think Try Me was up here. I remember everybody was on that Dage Low song. Everybody was on Try Me. The Lox killed it. Lil Wayne did not kill it, but it was alright. He had a Meek Mill joint. It was alright. There was a bunch of alright stuff on here. His brain was on another planet. I was not feeling this. Throw this in the D tier. Throw it in the D tier. I was not moved by this one. So then we've got No Ceilings 2. So, you know how I feel about sequels, especially when the sequels are this high up. You know, recapturing the magic of No Ceilings 1, that ain't gonna work in 2015, not for this Wayne. But to be fair, it's not bad. The beat selection is compared to the original, but he sounds sharper, a little bit more focused. He's not giggling and rapping everything with like feces references as much as he used to. Sick of that auto-tune though. It was too much auto-tune on it, but that's pretty much every mid-2010 Lil Wayne joint. I thought it was okay though. When I went back to re-listen to it, it wasn't offensive to me. Put it in the C tier. Oh, speaking of being nice, T-Wayne. Yes, Lil Wayne and T-Pain finally did their joint project that had been rumored for, I feel like, 5 years earlier. They've been talking about this thing forever. It might even be 10 years ago at that point. But if you know me, you know my thoughts about T-Pain. I'm not going to get into him here. And no, I'm not going to argue with y'all when y'all, but he can really sing. He can really, you heard him without auto-tune? He can. Okay, then why does he not use auto-tune? I don't care that he can sing when he's not using the crutch. He uses the crutch. I don't want to hear auto-tune. Ugh, T-Pain does nothing for me. And Wayne and T-Pain together is not the peanut butter and jelly for me. It is like petroleum jelly and shoe polish. I'm not trying to eat that. To be fair though, a lot of this mixtape is actually pretty cool because we get rapping T-Pain, which I actually don't mind. I like rapping T-Pain. And yes, non-auto-tune T-Pain is okay too. I don't think he's freaking Luther Vandross like y'all act like, but he's fine. And we get more of the rapping Pain, but then we also get Wayne being Wayne, just being his goofy self, not at all focused. I'm gonna get this C. Let's throw this in the C tier, Roth. Like, it's better than I thought it was gonna be, but it is not something I'm gonna play very much. I'm sure y'all will come to my throat, but be lucky I said anything nice about T-Wayne. Okay, so now we're at dedication 6, the last dedication to date. I do like this one because I like the beat selection better. I like that we get Story of OJ and Bank Account and stuff like that I still kind of, I'll throw on every once in a while. It's alright. It's better than kind of stuff we had been getting previously, but it's not anything that hits the legendary mark, so let's make this one a B tier. It's good. Not great. But then, because we have to overdo everything, we get Dedication 6 Reloaded, which came out like a week or two after this one. And it's so much. So much. And so unnecessary. I like Hail Mary, but other than that, it's just like a bunch of random junk. I know we live in this era, and this is even before the current era, where we're in this content era, where it's fans feel like they just gotta blah 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 blah, fans want all this content just to say they have it, and it's not even necessarily good. This mixtape feels like I just have 20 songs sitting around, let's just throw it out there, and maybe the fans will like 2 or 3. It ain't horrible, but it's so unnecessary. C tier, Roth. Throw it in the C tier. I'm feeling generous today. I almost went D, but I'll be nice. Okay. Don't move it to D. Don't move it to D. Move it back up. Move it back up to C. We'll be nice. Here's another one of those massive, like, double disc mixtapes. We're talking about No Ceilings 3. Man, how many times we gonna go to this well? There's no more water in it. Clearly, because 2020, there was not a lot going on. Sometimes Wayne sounds sharp. Sometimes he sounds asleep. Sometimes he sounds like he don't want to be there. That means I don't want to listen, especially something this long. No. Roth, throw some D's on it. Get it out of here. And then we got Trust Fund Babies. Man, we're almost here. Hang in there. We only got a couple left. And we got Trust Fund Babies, and this is with Rich the Kid. I would rather snort gunpowder than listen to Rich the Kid. He sounds like your irritating little brother pretending to be a rapper. He doesn't sound like a rapper. He sounds like someone pretending to be a rapper. That annoys me. Wayne actually doesn't sound too bad on this one, though. He actually sounds a little better than he had on some of these more recent ones. But it ain't enough to get sucked from the vortex that is Rich the Kid. I will be generous. I will give this one a C too. But Rich the Kid ain't it. Ain't it. I didn't like it. But Wayne did a lot of heavy lifting, so if I was nice to T-Wayne, I'll be nice to this one. And then finally, the fix before the 6. We still haven't even gotten to 6. This came out last year. This is the last mixtape to date. And this is the lead up to Carter 6. A lot of people like this, but I don't understand. A lot of people like bungee jumping and, I don't know, like stepping on nails and eating glass. I just can't do anything but pray for y'all, because why do y'all like this? That song, Birds, horrible. That song was terrible. That cat food song, like, it was just a bunch of cat metaphors. Cat hanging out in the cat suit. Oh, blah, blah, Chitara, blah, blah, Thundercat. Like, what? Like, no. Like, no. This was another thing that felt pushed out the door just to have it. Another rushed mess. Unfocused, messy. 2 words for this one. Player, please. Throw it down at the bottom. Well, that was all of them. And that was a bunch. So, D Roth, let's look at our final finished project. Look at this. Picasso could not have done an image better than this. 21 mixtapes, all from the top to the bottom. And to be fair, most of them are pretty alright. Most of them are at least listenable. There are some that did not deserve to grace this earth. But hey, they're going to be clunkers everywhere. Make sure you check out that S tier though. Those are must watches. Well, most listens. This video's a must watch. Those are must listen. And shout out to D Roth, who I'm sure was getting carpal tunnel moving those stupid photos up and down. But there you go. So, y'all let me know what you thought. There's our first tier list. Which mixtape should have been higher? Which one should have been lower? Should I have done the squad ups? No, I shouldn't have. Should I have done the EPs? Maybe I should have thrown the leak up there. Maybe I'll do that next time. But let me know what you think. And if you think I should do more tier lists, let a player know. I'm all for it. We can try it out. We'll see how this one performs. So, as we always do around this time, this edition of the Soul and Stereo Sessions is a wrap. I understand Wayne's pain now. We say F baby and the F is for fatigued. I'm tired. Play on, players.